Hello and welcome to Fuck Your Opinion. This is a movie review show with yours truly, Sean. Today I watch Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Sorry, The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Everyone just calls it Falcon. And then I saw a billboard the other day and it's like the. I'm like, that just doesn't roll off the tongue very well. The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Kinda Captain America is just Captain America, you know? But Sam, spoiler alert, Sam does become Captain America, and then it's just Captain America and the Winter Soldier. And you know what? Sounds better. It just sounds better. So, like I said, this is Fuck Your Opinion. I am reviewing the Falcon and Winter Soldier series as a whole. So, I'm not going to get into any one particular thing in a great amount of detail. I'm just going to kind of fly through my thoughts on everything on a cursory level. So if you want more detail, fuck you, man. Fuck off. While we're at it, and me telling you to fuck off, make sure to hit the like button. Make sure to hit subscribe. Make sure to do all that. And that way I can say, I retract that fuck off. I take that back because you're a good person. And if you don't, then I bring it throw it back on you. Double the fuck you. Double the fuck off. Fuck off. Oh, well, not fuck off. Fuck stay. But then when you're done, when you watch the whole video, fuck off. Anyways, Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I gotta be honest, when this series first started, I hated it. The first episode sucked. It was so boring. It was so slow. And it's not that I need something that's like, "Bup, bup, 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 bup." It's just it these characters are not characters that I really cared about beforehand. So doing like slow dramatic stuff didn't work for me. And while the first episode I thought was meh, the second episode was downright atrocious. I know a lot of people like it, but the buddy cop element to it, the banter between Sam and Bucky, was horrendous. It was some of the worst banter, the buddy cop banter I have ever heard in my entire fucking life. And for someone who absolutely adores that genre, that is probably my favorite genre of filmmaking. So to see something so poorly executed was beyond frustrating. Just all the banter between the two in the first two episodes, well, the second episode was just forced. It didn't feel natural and it was awful. Also, the therapist scenes, anything involving a therapist, both therapist scenes, truly terrible. Really bad. I mean, maybe they were good for characters and whatnot, but watching it, I just wanted to like roll up in a ball and cringe. It was so cringy in the worst possible way. It was bad. I hated it. But then, much to my shock and surprise, the show in episode 3 started to get good. Madripoor was great and cool, especially adding Zemo, super cool. And then the show got better and better from there. I felt like besides the last episode, every episode improved on the last one and was just like, "Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god." And it kept going places that I didn't think that a show like this, particularly a Marvel show, would be willing to go. It went really dark, it went really political. It went again, I'm breezing over things, but it's commentary on how black people have been and are treated in America is just amazing. I want to say commentary, but also just a reflection on the state of the world right now. This show was on point. It knew what it was doing, and it is so strong and salient and important. And those themes and ideas are what make this show so strong. And when that has the follow through at the end of the series, it doesn't feel forced. It doesn't feel like something where we had to just shove it in here or we had to like appease people or do like hand holding. I mean, I hate and I'll have arguments with people all the time about this. When movies have a great message, they might have a nice idea or trying to say something powerful like this, but we don't care about the characters and it ends up feeling more like pandering and like, well, if you have something that has a strong message but is not well executed versus something that is, let's say, a buddy cop movie that's really fun and really effective, what's the better movie? And it's like, I'm always going to say the fun action movie. I'm sorry, I love action movies, but very seldom are those two worlds kind of able to combine in a very cohesive and amazing, beautiful way. And I feel like this show executed it so well because it knew what it was. And I think that's part of why that buddy cop element stuff in the beginning didn't work because that's not what the showrunners really wanted to do. They knew that was the way to hook people in and have a, the beginning like, hey, this is why you're going to come into the show, but you're going to stay and realize, oh, this is actually about something else entirely and just truly brilliant for it. A lot of people are criticizing Sam's speech at the end just because it goes on a little over long and that some of the stuff at the end is a little on the nose. I actually do not mind that because even though it is a bit on the nose, at the same time, it is so effective in what it's doing for the most part, and even though it's on the nose, it is in line with its themes and ideas and everything is going for that. I really can't fault it for it. Uh, just because it's obvious doesn't mean it doesn't need to be said, especially when this is a show that, is for all ages, all ranges. This is from people who really get it and like, oh, maybe there's a little too much to, maybe younger kids or other people who are not really paying attention or don't really understand things like Black Lives Matter and its importance. So, and while this isn't entirely like, oh, it's Captain America, Black Lives Matter. That is still, it is not to get into it too much, but the conversations we have today for some people feel obvious and for others feel like newfound information. So it was kind of important for the show to be a little obvious about certain things. And again, it's really effective and it's really great in regards to that. And it just felt so authentic and earned. Everything it did in regards to those themes and ideas felt like the show knew what it was doing. Now, I will say, because I'm sure people bring this up, that in comparison to other superhero fare, like let's say The Boys, there are a lot of other superhero content that tackles really heady and profound ideas in a way that, you could make the argument that, oh, well, Marvel is doing it, it's still within the Marvel scope. So it doesn't go as far as it can. I get that. I understand that. But at the same time, this is something that I, time and time and again, criticize Marvel for playing it safe, for not, like not really going one way or another in regards to things, whether that is politics or storylines or character deaths, whatever. And this show really is not afraid to pull punches. It hits and it hits hard. And that's what makes it so strong as opposed to so many other Marvel pieces of content. I will also say, in comparison to other Marvel stuff, better than WandaVision. It's kind of funny where it's like opposite trajectories, where WandaVision I loved at first, and as time progressed, it kind of lost that luster from me. I'm like, oh, you're getting the regular Marvel fare. Bring back the sitcoms. Where this started off terrible and then continually grew and got better. So interesting how that worked out. I also want to note that in regards to old Captain America movies, I recently rewatched them just because I'm like, oh, in between episodes, let me watch some Winter Soldier, let me watch some Civil War. Now, I have not rewatched these movies since they came out in theaters, and it's just interesting seeing how politics has always been prevalent in the Captain America series and how Steve Rogers is very much going with his heart, going with his gut, and what he really believes in. And that is similar to Sam. But I think that honestly, Falcon and Winter Soldier is the best Captain America project I've seen. I'm including Winter Soldier. I think Winter Soldier is great, but at the same time, it has some issues, and Civil War definitely has some issues in regards to politics. Because I don't know about you guys, but when I reflect on it, it was very interesting when it first came out, but when I rewatch it looking back in a 2021 lens and seeing everything that happened with the Trump presidency, some of Steve's politics, like, I believe in my way or the highway. Everyone can tell me something else, but all about me, or all about my beliefs and his headstrong attitude. And a lot of the quotes that he makes are ones that can so easily be misconstrued. And if you have, like, for example, in the show, a John Walker, even though John Walker is not a one for one and doesn't necessarily prescribe to the same attitudes as Steve Rogers, at the same time, you could very much have a John Walker or somebody who is basically the same ideas as Steve Rogers, but actually fundamentally does just very heinous and wrong things because he thinks it's what's right. It's just very complicated, Steve's ideals, and I'm not going to get into it because I'm not talking about those movies. But it is to say that I feel like Sam has that confidence to say what he thinks and how he feels, but not have that stubbornness that I think Steve had. And I just feel like Sam is a bit more on the right side of things in regards to this show. And I really appreciate that. And that is why I loved his speech so much. It was so strong, it was so powerful, and I loved a lot of it. I also loved how Sam didn't kill people. And this is an idea that bothers me a lot in movies and TV shows, particularly superhero stuff, where they're like, oh, we gotta save people. Oh, we can't kill. Always bothered me because it just felt like very kiddie because it just didn't feel practical. When you watch something like, let's say, Invincible or The Boys, going back to those, you realize that superheroes have this strength that it's actually far harder to not kill somebody to kill somebody, right? So it just seemed kind of impractical at times. Where I really, really, really love that this show is not afraid. Like, it has those ideals of saving people, of protecting people, of not killing, but at the same time, it juxtaposes that with actually going for it. So John Walker as Captain America, killing a guy, getting the blood on the shield. There's a lot of people who are murdered and killed, and it is there, and it is a lot further than I thought Marvel would go. And that allows that attitude that Sam has to, or his perspective and his ideologies, to just work so much better. It's so much better for it. Anyways, as far as characters, Sam is great. He really totally earns his spot as Captain America. And I can't wait for the new Captain America movie with him. Bucky, okay. I'll be honest, I'm not a Bucky stan. I know everybody loves Bucky. Bucky, honestly, is one of those guys. Sebastian Stan as Bucky is one of those guys that looks like if he were in another era, he could be like a cool macho action star. But at the same time, he's kind of like one of those action stars, almost like the Rick Dalton Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, that almost was there, but kind of just never became the thing, and then is just off on the sideline. You know, I never cared for the character. I really don't care for him, and this show made me like him a little bit more. But if I never saw him again, I would not care. I would not care. Winter Soldier can go away. I don't care. He's fine. Zemo was great. We all know Zemo is great. What else is there to say about Zemo? Uh, Nothing really. That's all I'll say. Zemo, get him back here. Also, I was thinking about this earlier. Moon Knight is coming up, and everyone's like, "Oh, this is going to be Marvel's answer to Batman." I feel like Zemo is Marvel's answer to Batman. I know he's the villain, but he's got the butler who kills people. He's like Alfred on super soldier serum, you know. I think Zemo would be a good like Batman type. We'll see. We'll see. Flagsmashers. You notice I didn't talk about them? I'm going to continue to not talk about them because they're not worth it. John Walker. John Walker was very interesting, fascinating antagonist. He had a lot of depth and nuance to him. Am I like, oh man, sympathy for John Walker? No, he's still a bad guy. Well, he's a complicated bad guy, which is the most interesting kind. But, anyways, I am looking forward to seeing what happens with him. Sharon Carter. What can we say? She was the power broker. We all knew she was the power broker. Whenever people are speculating, it can't be that obvious, right? I just went Mephisto and said she's the power broker. Not very interesting. And we all guessed it. Very obvious. And then we got Val, Julia Louis-Dreyfus. Great, great, wonderful. She has two scenes. She knocks both out of the park. We all want to see more of her, and it's going to be wonderful. Great stuff. So final rating, I'd give it like an 8 out of 10. It was a really solid show. So much better than I was expecting. Is it a masterpiece? No. Is it one of the best Marvel pieces of content? Yeah. I would definitely put it in like a top 5 if I was including everything. So, yeah. This has been Fuck Your Opinion. Thank you for watching. If you're like, God, I stuck around this long to listen to this guy, man, this is such a long video. Sean, can't you be a little shorter? Guys, I have a outline structured down there. I tried being shorter. I fucking tried, okay? I have this organized and I still fucked it up. So the point is like and subscribe so I can get better at this. Or, as always, you can fuck off.